For more on this, we're joined by Kent Wu, who's Executive Director of the Chinese American Health Coalition, NICOS, in San Francisco. Welcome to the program, Kent.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Now, some say gambling is part of Chinese culture. In fact, we even see casinos around the world targeting Chinese clientele. Is that a fair statement? Is gambling part of the social fabric?
Yeah, apparently it is. I mean, for many of us, we go to celebrations such as Chinese New Year or birthdays, wedding anniversaries, and we see gambling there. So it's actually very much a part of our lives. A lot of people also play mahjong throughout the day in their households, and so kids grow up just absorbing it as something that's normal.
So does that then translate to a stigma associated with gambling addiction? I mean, what's public perception like?
I think there is a stigma to it when someone is really out of control, just as if a person were out of control for anything else like drugs or alcohol. But I think there is also some tolerance in the Asian American community. A lot of people know someone who's got a gambling addiction, and so it's become something of a norm also in that sense.
Right. Now, you work with an organization that helps gamblers manage and overcome their addiction. What are some ways people can do that?
Uh, well, the best way is by seeing a therapist. So generally, people who come in for help will link them up to a therapist who will provide some free counseling. A lot of times, the addiction develops because of some other emotional problems that the person has. And so that therapist will help them work through and look for some of the underlying issues.
But then, well, gambling is illegal in China. So what kind of help is out there for those with gambling addiction? I mean, we heard in that one report about a center in Shanghai, but that appears to be an exception, not the rule.
Even though gambling is illegal somewhere, that doesn't mean that gambling doesn't happen. So, as they mentioned in that story, they can still get into online gambling or they can still go to illegal gambling dens. Here in San Francisco, gambling is also illegal, but there's been operations where there have been slot machines in places. There's been mahjong parlors. There's all kinds of gambling that's happening.
Right. Now,
It's
Kent,
difficult to control.
of course, difficult to control. And we've also seen gambling on the rise because of the pandemic. What can be done to stop this?
Again, it would be for people to recognize what a gambling addiction looks like, also to see the destruction that it's doing in their lives, and then admitting that it's something that they need help with. So that's really the first step. It's recognizing the signs of problem gambling and then going to a professional for help with that.